Greetings, greetings. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to yet another edition. This is a special edition where we're going to be having an interesting talk show. The program is Reketa, and today it's a special collaboration with Imani Youth Development Organization that is working with young people in the area of substance abuse. And I'm also joined by various citizens and comrades that are working in the creative sector, but they're also having a voice and action with regards to substance abuse. This is an issue that is topical at the moment, and we're going to be also speaking to some young people that have been that are under rehabilitation from substance abuse. So to just start off, I'll start off with Joe Njagu, who's a filmmaker, an award-winning filmmaker, a living legend, Nama living legend. Welcome.
Plot, how are you, bro?
No, I'm good, I'm good. So I'm just gonna start off with you. Give us a bit of a background on what we're gonna be discussing about and your role within the issues of substance abuse.
So this issue is something that's really like serious nowadays in Zim. Like the numbers are escalating, you know, of people that are getting hooked on drugs, you know, and this is something that's even like close to home, because like I come from Cheetown, and like seeing people from my hood, like even there's times where I go there, you know, and you see these people that you grew up with, and they're like hooked on these drugs, and some of them you can't even recognize them anymore. So that's something that we're trying, you know, like with the help of Imani, to sort of like see how best we can help. And you know, like in looking at it, like if you realize most of the people that are doing this, they're talented youngsters, like most of them in music and film and drama, like all this, they're artists who are failing. I feel like they're failing to find an outlet, and then they just give up and then end up being hooked up on drugs. And I think we need to give them a chance, you know, like try by all means to sort of like take them in. Like we're working with Imani to sort of like take them on in the industry, see how best, where we can put them in, where we can place them, and give them something to do. Because at the end of the day, like this is just, it's like an idle mind is the devil's workshop. That's basically what is happening with this pandemic. Like a lot of people, it's like if you look at the country, the unemployment rate, so people don't have stuff to do, and they just in the hood chilling with nothing. Then they just end up saying, okay, how best can we escape this? That's why you see people getting hooked on this Guka Makavela, and then they're up for 3 days, so that they're just trying to escape reality. But if we find something that people can like sort of like shift their energy towards, I'm sure these numbers can drop, man. So we're here to just sort of like try and see how best we can take them in and help. Yeah.
Wow. And so far, how has been the progress with regard to the young people that you're working with?
So it's actually been amazing, yeah. Like you know, like last week I had 2 guys from Imani who were taking on as a company to just sort of like start working with them, and you know, like chatting with these guys, it even reminded me of myself, the days when I was hungry and just dreaming, and this is where they're at, and all they need is a chance. Like all they need is to be given a chance to say, okay, this is how you can propel. Like these youngsters, these are smart youngsters, right? And they're not, it's not like they're just people who are dumb, and they're like smart people who, if given a chance, can really excel. So we've started that, and we're taking them in as interns, where we're throwing them in and seeing where best can we, like what can they excel in. Most of them, the guys that we took in on our end, are interested in film. One is interested in editing, one is interested in acting, and the other is interested in cinematography. And so I want to throw them in gently and see how best they can sort of like get into the industry. Yeah.
Wow, that is very commendable, and thank you so much for such impressive work. I'm going to switch over to Tariro and get a bit of insight into what Iman is doing, and also hear from some of the youngsters that are going through the program that you're doing. Stay tuned as we cross over to Chitumiza. Tariro, how are you?
Hi, Plot, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Tell us a bit of background. What are you doing? What is the kind of work that is Imani Trust doing?
So Imani Trust was born from the struggles basically in the ghetto. You know, the problem of drug abuse, vana vadiki avasina mabasa, avasikuenda kuchikoro, all they do all day is roam around in my streets and they end up abusing drugs due to peer pressure, poverty, and the like. So that's how Imani was born.
Wow. And tell us about the young people that you're working with there.
Yes, so today, yeah, I've got the musicians, the artists, those that are interested in making it in the music industry, in the arts, in film, yeah, fashion and design. It's a mix. It's a packet of licorice also. So what they do is most of them, like these three that I've got here, this is Malvin, and this is Ngoni, and this is Kudai. So they're all musicians. They've got their little band that they sing together and they make music basically. So yeah, you can say hi guys.
Great. Kudai, David. Dribble. Okay, so maybe let me cross over to them a bit. I want to hear what caught before you reach this stage. Drugs. What had pushed you that situation?
Basically, picture to my artists. So after my music, my photo, do mashala wandira zve tracks. Kama artists akatowanda futi angaita sei kuona mamwe artists achiita zvema tracks zvichidai nekudai.
Vanenge drugs kuti ati fambere chichinenge chiitika
confidence vosa chichi plus kangonyeperana futi kaufunga kuti anenge achitoti ufunge iyo pamwe pacho uri kutobuda musaka.
And my drugs are kubatwa nmayouths. Like what sort of drugs were you taking?
Norache takabva kwakawanda but Christ made zvese chintu inenge yapisa.
Guga makafela.
Amekafela.
But mari yake inenge chiwanika kupi inodhura inoita mari yaiwanikwa. Like how easy is it for young people to access Christ made?
Ngokasichiwe ngekuti kona mgezo utika upedza kurati mapopulation wakunotsoma chi vanhu chichichi ngora wakuita siriyo.
Let's talk about kutsoma matsomtsom chi, like can you explain tsomtsom wagwa
level kutsoma manje level kuti gukaurari ungasatana wiki yese usati warara so unopesera wakunzwa zvako wega nekuona futi zvako wega waungovhunduka ndokutsoma iko kutewa
unongochiona zvinhu
unongochiona zvako wega.
Too bad. But now you're going through this program. Muri follow my interest in arts. How has been the experience? Zviri kufamba sei? Zviri kubatsira here kuti muregere madrugs? Makatosiya here kana kuti muchiri process?
Process. Kuti susuka tatoona taiwa taizvinyepera hatina kutanga madrugs asiri aita tiimbe. Ngona saka tatoona taiwa madrugs ako. Ngona but kumasiya futi ichi process ngona zvinogona wiki usina addiction kudai wakazinomaka futi but ichi process konongochiona kuti hai zviri kuendeka wangoramba chimind yako iri busy kusinganya nezo igla streets
ene lockdown makuzvioccupy nei muri kukwanisa kuwana here zvinhu zvinokuoccupy time
tototenda sisitariro nekuti program kaita kuti mageto youth ave busy vazinengamukana futi ngamukana opportunity yekunzwika because mageto youth tinenge takatone maplans takatongwara ngetone vision
What's your vision? What's your goal? So if this will be your dream.
I'm a dancer artist. You need to reach an international level. Well, I'm me dream big. Well,
so gonna go some your food. My business,
man, food. Multi-talented.
So your dream, Deku Sumukane Mangoma and become an artist.
Penetrate among my industries.
Yeah, man. Mese mulo wa mangoma rekana pane mwana yemwe dream. Kumangoma. Nice one. So
everything about art.
Everything about art. Okay. Taro ndichadzoka ne team rangu ndichadzoka. Tichazomboda kumafila mangoma ya and we will find also how best we can actually promote. Rufaro Kaseke. Elder. Thank you so much for facilitating this and organizing this. Let's talk. You've been very, very active, very loud and about drugs, not only this year, but for a very long time. And these youngsters are coming from Shtungiza, where you grew up. But you are an acclaimed filmmaker. You've managed to defy all of these circumstances. Tell us, just give us your perspective.
Yeah, I'm really glad with you. Now we are having this conversation now, Commander, because I know Gutikari in Ghetto Youth from day number one. But also, like you say, in the Ghetto Youth, who also was given a chance by other people. I know if someone hadn't done that for me, but I'm so glad with now we are having this conversation. Because right now intolerance over situation problems. So my coming in and starting to initiate this conversation, this is without tango would teach Runyasuitika first. Tikatanzwa nyaya yavo wakumana vakatuza kuti no pakadaende pari kukanyika asi pakadai tokona kupakaza tichienda umberi. I think tinokwanisa kutanga kugasa nyaya ye-drug addiction from there. Inini professionally I know for sure through experience kuti munhu akapuwa mukana and aka-apply themselves. I think chikuru chandingade kuti ndikurudzire vakomana ndikuona zvikuitika boys ndezvekuti right now tapuwa mukana ndoona semageto youth kunzi tiite kuti tiende kumberi international yaya unokera mupana wangu international level yakutaura yaya haisitomboti madreams ekure stereke kunzwa ndiyako haasitomboti bvunzai pakoma wako ari pano vese Jonah Leonard vanoziva kuti vese vakabva mugeto apa but vakazongoricha rimwe level rekuti vanhu vakatozongovhunduka why is it? But it's still a question anymore. So I don't need it right now. Going forward, this is kutanga kuchinja maonera tunoita upenyu wedu as well, right? So I can do kumanya nenyaya plot yekuti we want to surround this talent with talent. Wapona? Because tikuona kuti tikavasurrounda netalent, tikavasurrounda nekushora, surrounding them with more drugs. So with this program, we're part of the thing we want to tichatanga kutsaura zvinhu, right? Saka tichatanga kutsaura idleness first. Pamwechete totsaura right idleness tadila nayo, and then todila futi ne kana zviri family issues anenge achinetsa todila nawo tichitsaura one. Dzimwe nguva kurova mutoriro kwacho chaiwo pamwe, that's the last thing chatichatsaura nenawo yekuti zvine ma-medical ningi ve-medical vanozotsanangura vachitiudza kuti okay tichafamba because kana munhu angari pa-addiction vanotaura kuti anofanira kutora gradually maona, but chekutanga iso hatifanira kutanga ndatati munhu regedza kukama kafela yako ayo yawanga uchirova for 10-15 years ayo tikuti right, but chitanga kuona kuti panhu pekurova guka nyora song, panhu pekurova guka vhura email address, because international level vanenge na email address number 1 chada kuti muite ma-email address mese papa totanga kutolinka from everywhere in the world. Saka instead yekuti kudai so toda kuti tipe vanenge na ma-alternatives, right? Instead yekuti vanga vaina vari munhingirike imomo vari mustudio vari kurekoda na Leonard or vari paset na Joe or vari pafarm na Yusuf. Saka toda kuchinja maitiro nemaonero atunoita upenyu hwevanin'ina vedu.
Wow, that is interesting. And you talk about surrounding them with talent. I'm going to bring Leonard Mafumo. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's great to have you. How do you see yourself, or how are you involved in this initiative?
Yeah. Well, I was approached by Faro. He said we've got a project that we are doing that deals with young people and talent. So I was mainly interested with the aspect of the drug abuse, trying to stop drug abuse because it has become quite prevalent in Zimbabwe. You know, these youngsters, they are talking about drugs like crystal meth. Those are dangerous drugs, you know, and we've got these drugs in Zimbabwe. I've worked with a lot of young artists, I think since 2005, the days of restless development, if you remember, Plot, Dreamstar, and Nakeo Payne. And of all these things, what I've noticed is that a lot of youngsters, they when they become idle, they become dangerous. You know, they look for anything to entertain them. So they will take up to the nearest thing. The nearest thing that they will take up is drugs. So most of these things, they are found in the arts. And as the arts practitioners, if we don't act on that and we do not fix that aspect, would definitely damage the young people in Zimbabwe. So I was mainly interested. This is how I came in, because I was mainly interested about this concept here. With try stop the drug abuse campaign with arts, because these art practitioners are who fuel this issue of drug abuse.
Wow, that is quite interesting there, that artists are fueling, because not only got Panama artists anotomhanyisa madrugs acho anototengesa. But anyway, Yusuf, we've lost Yusuf there. Whilst we wait for Yusuf and Taro to reconnect, I'm going to talk a bit with Rufaro. Rufaro,
Yeah.
do you think this approach will be effective at a broader scale, considering that we've got a pandemic that has become very national? What would be your biggest suggestion in terms of addressing this issue on a macro scale?
Okay. So the action is going to be in chewable sizes. I think. I think we understand this project. The problem in drugs is massive, is national, and in many cases international. We understand the scope of the action, but we are doing it in chewable chunks, chewable sizes. Something that, because we are aware that we have to be measuring results scientifically, socially, morally, and in many other ways. We need to be measuring our results as we go. So, for instance, I'll give you an example that just the idea of the guys coming in and talking like what they did now, it never used to happen, right? We spent a long time just trying to get them in, for them to just start opening up about what they want. So already we're starting to see results in that area, that, okay, there's now a measure of talk. Now, you know, and whatnot, you know, which is good. So we want to continue doing that. They moved on to last week they went on a boot camp, right? So the efforts are growing bigger and bigger, and then after that they went on to do a business breakfast, you see. So there's so many things that we're doing gradually. Also teach measure progress as we go, you know, to say, right, stage let's measure. Now, how this is going to work obviously is we need to be able to we need to be able to surround these youth, like I said, with talent. Like when I say talent, I'm talking creative talent, I'm talking scientific talent, psychological specialists, and all those things. So while we are working their music, the life coaches are in there with them. So it's a multi-pronged approach, because we understand the scale of the problem. Now, when this model works, because as we look at it right now, so far it's working, because we've got a group of people. So we've got what we call like a focus group at the moment, which we're going to use to as a model, as a replicable model.
That can
right?
be used.
So we're not, yeah. So we're not going to be, trying to bite more than we can swallow. No, we're going to wait with at least about 20 children. So we know already where we're putting them. Like these 3 are going into music, right? So we know already where they're going and what's going to happen. And the end result is a song or an album. So that's where we are going with them, right? And when it comes to the ones hair, hair, right?
Yes.
We've identified 3, 4 hair and beauty. So we've already identified the people who are going to help with them, and the end result, which is, for instance, setting up their own nail bar shop in Chitungwiza, where they can start practicing that. But again, within that, Yusuf, sorry, it's just that Yusuf dropped. People like Yusuf and all the other life coaches that we have identified will be coming in to sort of also work with them on, and also most importantly work with their families. Because in our investigations, which Taro could have attested to, we found a lot to do with the struggle within the family setup itself. So if we are going to box in these children and make sure that they are back on the path, we need also to help families. So it's a multi-pronged approach which we are taking slowly but surely, making sure that before we move on to the next stage, we measure progress of where we are.
Wow. Great. You talked there about families, the involvement of families in this drug situation. I'm just going to take a quick 2-minute break, but show a snippet from an interview, a video coverage that was done by ZBC that also talks about how the drugs are affecting families.
48-year-old Edith Kawamba is addicted to Bronclear. Like many other people in Mbare, substance use disorder has taken over Edith's life, and her 2 children are now hooked on drugs.
Hapana zvavaibofunga kana kuti ndiendese vana kuchikoro hapana, ende zvakatokonzera kuti vanangu vaite unhu wacho ndichingoita iwo wemadrugs iwo. Ndakatoona kuti ndakatovhiringidza vana newo madrugs andakatoita. Woti kuti ndichamutora nemadrugs achanzwa kuti ingaimwa bhurungu taikune muchishama. Vana vacho vanotoba madrugs akashaya kana bhurungu chaya kana chine mumba chaicho chanotora kutengesa.
For some, this has become a way of life, and there seems to be no way out.
Ndambosangana nebroncli saka arengera kutondivhiringidza, kushaya appetite, kutadza kudya, kungoita zvinhu zvese noise violence.
Ndakatanga nebhurungu nechamba ende takangotanga ngoita zvemusikanzwa zvese.
Ndakatanga nembanje pandadzisiya pandazotanga kutora bhurungu.
There's always a channel wekuti anopinda muno, how are they getting in Zimbabwe? So I mean we need to start from there.
Taitokumbira kuti hurumende dai kumapurisa kwaiswa office yekuti inenge ichita counseling about drugs.
The health and social effects of these drugs are well documented, but somehow they ignore them, only to come face to face with reality in the worst possible manner.
Chokwadi yacho madrugs antiuraya kana feeling yemusikana. Ningosvika tomufunge kana musikana.
Ndakarwara zvezvokuti ndakangosiya madrugs all of a sudden. Ngorwara zvisinganzwisisike nekuonda.
Kunyanya paBronclear my health system ndikutoona kunge yatodhakwa.
According to a recovered former drug addict, recovering from drug abuse requires personal motivation.
I've been taking cocaine for about 7 years, and at the moment I'm clean for about 5 years. It only started with a personal motivation and probably support from friends.
Zimbabwe's Civil Liberties and Drug Network, a group which is working with people who use drugs, reckons there is need for a drug policy.
The laws are criminalizing, they criminalize people who use drugs. A person who uses drugs, once he knows that there is law enforcement or there are police around, they go underground to such an extent that they don't come out for help. So I think our policies, they need to be humane.
Last year, government, in conjunction with other partners, launched the Zimbabwe Drug Master Plan, which contains strategies of treating people who use drugs. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Yeah, that was the report by Abigail Tembo, ZBC. The video is courtesy of ZBC credit. So I was talking there to Rufaro Kaseke, and he was telling us about the rehabilitation program that they're doing and how they plan to roll it, bit by bit, and hopefully that the model will be replicated in different communities. Tariro, you're back on the line. Hi, Taro, can you hear us? Okay, so whilst we wait for Tariro to connect, and we also hope that Yusuf is going to join us. He's also involved in this initiative and empowering young people, giving them alternatives. Leo, a lot of the youngsters spoke about music. They say that they're getting exposed to substances through music, but their dream and passion is to become musicians. How can one as an artist balance and be able to navigate? You've been in the music industry for more than 20 years right now. How practical is it that you can be in the music industry where you're exposed and still be able to pursue your passion and stay away from the drugs?
Oh, thank you. I think one thing that is challenging when it comes to the arts is that there is a huge misconception that if you want to display your art, you have to be on drugs. The best way to display your art is when you are drunk. With the current crop that is there, we have seen a lot of them going on stage whilst they are drunk, and that has been like something that has been emulated by other young people. And you also see that in these studios, in these dance theaters, you find that they attract a lot of people, and a lot of drug peddlers. They use these say well-known artists to bring in the crowd so that they can sell their drugs. So for artists, it is very difficult to try and maneuver away from that. The best way to try and minimize the effect of drug abuse within the artist is giving mentorship to young people. I, for instance, when I got into the music industry, I was privileged to work with Dilani Makalima. He told me that, there are 3 things that would destroy an artist: drugs, women, and alcohol. So he said, you always do drugs that you can afford and that are closest to you. For instance, if you listen to that report, the first thing that was introduced to them was Mbanje. Then they moved to the other drugs, and they moved to crystal meth. So, these things, they are pushed through studios. If you look at the big shows that happen in Bari, the Passas, the main reason for those shows are to peddle drugs. So for artists to be able to avoid those things when they are always within their sphere of work is very difficult. But with the right mentorship, with the right studios, with the right structures, this can be avoided. We can try and minimize these things by having proper structures in the music industry. Like these youngsters, they're saying that we want to be international artists, but they will never understand what international artist is, what an international artist does, if they are not exposed to it. What they are exposed to is what's within their areas. But if they are then exposed to international artists, if their mentor has gone through these channels and have seen these international artists and know what is needed for one to be an international artist, it will expose them to the standard that they need to adhere to. But if none of the artists that they are involved with, that they are working with, has ever been exposed to these things, it will be very difficult to take out these youngsters from drug abuse. I'm really glad that Imani is giving these youngsters these opportunities to work from studios that are outside of their comfort zones, studios that are professional studios, where when you go there, you have to dress up, because your engineer, your producer, he takes this as his main business, not as his side job or something that he just does so that he can hang around with his boys. So I think it is important to find the right mentors in the music industry and put these youngsters in right structures where they are not exposed to the day-to-day drug abuses.
Wow, that is great. And thank you so much for the profound words. Whilst we wait for our other guests, Joe, also to get in, and Tariro, we seem to have lost the audio and the video from Tariro. But Rufaro, you heard what Leo talked about in terms of navigating the creative space where, you know, people that push drugs, they always target because they know that they will get numbers. They know that it's easy to push their names, as you know, Tanana, Bosningi, and so forth. And a lot of them, some of them are actually at the forefront of pushing drugs, and they use Mapasa and other platforms to push. What's your response with regards to those dynamics? You know, having your craft, being an artist, being surrounded by substances such as drugs.
I mean, I think Leo makes every single point that he has made is exactly bang on. I'll start with the idea that artists think that for you to be able to be creative, you must be high or you must be drunk. I think that's like how Leo puts it, lack of mentorship and direction. Okay, because by the time these big artists start getting on stage looking high, they've already made it, most of them, right? So none of these artists are being told that. I will also circle around the gap that's been created in dancehall, right? When dancehall stepped up onto the scene to become a recognized music genre, or to become a way of life, or even a source of life for our youngsters, none of us who are the elders or responsible people or opinion leaders or civic leaders or even government stepped up together with dancehall, right? So we let dancehall go on its own, and it took a life of its own, right? We as I wouldn't want to, I'm not trying to push blame on anyone, but I'm just trying to say our custodians of culture, including the Ministry of Culture itself, should have stepped in to see what kind of culture dancehall brings with it. We all know what it does. In dancehall music, they glorify drugs, they glorify all these things that they do. But then most of them, they don't actually do it like that. So most of our youths, they started doing what Beanie Man does on stage. But Beanie Man is millionaire or whatever. So coming back to Leo's point, they lacked mentorship, right? We needed to step in and start to create structures within dancehall where they are told that it's a business, okay? So if one had created that kind of environment and culture where it say, you come here to record your dancehall song, if you come high, you're going back home. All right, you don't come here high. Promoters do same thing. Instead of promoters selling drugs to the artist, a professional promoter should say to his artist, if you come to a show high, you're going home. I'm not giving you your money. All right, those are some of the things that we should have put in place as dancehall was rising. Now look what happened. Dancehall came up, and everyone has got their own template of how to become a successful dancehall studio or successful dancehall artist. But with music in general, I think in Zimbabwe, we now need to realize, now we've seen how powerful and how influential music is, and musicians, and the whole idea in music. So now, we better late than never, we will need to step up right now and infiltrate the spheres of music and the music industry, so that we can start to institute the right kind of attitudes. Because professionalism has got nothing to do with your high school education. Professionalism is an attitude. Okay, so the attitude of professionalism is not there. That's why people are allowed to come high and do looking wretched and whatnot. But now with Imani and what we're doing, we're starting to create those models of a professional attitude. And we're starting it, like what Leo rightly says, from exposing those youths. Because if you look at how everything works, for a picture to be formed, for a camera to form a picture, there has to be light that comes in and exposes the camera so that we can have a picture. Oh, right, okay, now we see the light. So that's exactly what we're doing. We're opening up the aperture a little bit, get a little bit of light in, they get exposed a little bit, we leave it there for a while. When we feel like, okay, this is enough to expose them, we keep opening that, and light keeps coming in until we have a full picture of what's going on. So we're going to be following those kind of routes that Leo spoke of, the mentorship route, the narrative, because the narrative you're going to my artist is not true. If you're going to be walking into Sony studio to record a song and you're looking high, they're going to send you home. Okay, you can talk about being high when you're on a video or whatever, not when you're actually recording the song. So the narrative has to change. I want to come back to the established artists. I mean, Leo will probably help you with this. we are not seeing enough of we're not just action, but we're not just seeing enough care, right, from established artists. I mean, I don't know why they are so comfortable in having their genre being labeled as a genre that got a whole generation of people into drugs. We're not saying that dancehall got people into drugs. No, we're saying that dancehall commercialized it. You know, dancehall it made it.
Is it dancehall only? Because I hear Guti drug abuse is quite rife, even among gospel church and other drugs. So it seems to be cutting across all artistic disciplines. And artists as influencers, then they shape that image, that narrative that we.
Yes. You are 100% right. And why I keep hammering on dancehall Plot is that there's no gospel music didn't create a culture in our neighborhoods. No, it just created a genre of music that we enjoy and whatnot. There's two genres of music that created a culture that still exists right now. That's the urban beat that Leonard and them started. From there, a whole urban culture started, right? And then dancehall came in, and a whole culture started, right? So why we're coming, there's a whole lot more. I mean, there's fashion designers who do drugs, whatnot, but it's very hard to find. It's very rare actually to go to Mbari and find a fashion designer who does drugs. You will find a musician. You will find, and like what Leo is saying, these guys are exposed to musicians, right? The people who have made it in their spheres, right, are musicians. So that's what they see. So if the same musician then start to do drugs, you're creating a whole culture because they've got followers, right? They've got thousands of followers. But not to dwell on that. The initiatives we're studying right now are exactly to do that, to start to expose these youths and to start to recreate the narrative around being a creative and using drugs.
Wow, thank you so much for those words. You know, I'm just gonna play a clip from an artist. His name is Dashoka. He does dancehall, and people also call him Buka Daddy, but he issued a disclaimer. I had a conversation with him, and this is what he had to say.
Are you ready? earGROUND Radio. We came, we saw, we kicked it. New voices amplified.
No matter which part or which name we want to call it, we don't tell you, Buka Daddy says so. Stay away from drugs. Me know say times hard, system hard, out the road things now move in a proper way, and everything is system art in a real life. System art, and our life still same way get cool. You see it? If you not no hustle, you not know nothing. And no youth me know say much of you, no youth, enough of them have a baby or baby mother or two wives and them thing there. You know, me know say everything tough right now because be a fire. Be a fire. Run boya. If you not no work or a plan, if you orchestrate or if you start something. You see it? I mean, you know, say no youth the mind too idle. You know, it don't say an idle mind is a devil's workshop. You see me I say? Real talk. If you not think about something productive in your life, you're not gonna get nowhere. And same way, you're gonna indulge yourself in a groupie and them drugs, recreational drug users and them thing there. I mean, don't tell yourself, please the youth them, stay away from drugs them because drugs in a real life, they mash up enough people. Me don't tell yourself, sometimes we do things thinking that we know better than the next brother. You see it? Sometimes we do things through peer pressure. Sometimes we do things where we not even know about, you know, and we now know the repercussions, like the after effect of where we do out the road, especially in a this year time now. In a this year type of system, in a this year type of economy and them thing there. You see it? Too much pressure, it's a pressure we hard, you know, as I get to it. And me see enough youth right now, them down a road, taking drugs, them not even know about.
He talks there about young people taking drugs that they don't even understand. They don't know about some of the substances that we hear being mixed. And now I hear even my papa's diapers formed a part of the substances that young people are abusing. They're saying a used diaper is being used as
Yeah.
one of the drugs as well. Tariro, are you there? So she has rejoined us, but we're not able to reconnect there. If there's anyone out there, an organization or individuals that would want to support the work that you're doing, how best can they get in touch?
Okay, so we are on social media. We're constantly updating what we're doing on social media. People are free. People have been contacting myself. People have been contacting Tariro. Imani itself, once the necessary steps that needs to be done in terms of our registration and all those things are done, it's going to be launching like a proper launch where we will launch all our socials. We will launch all our media handles, social media handles, so that people can be able to contact. But at the moment, we're just literally anyone who wants to contact us and wants to help in many ways can just contact me directly through my Facebook social account. I will then give you my WhatsApp number so that you can I can give people my WhatsApp number now if they want, so that they can contact me. Yeah, because I mean this is everyone just needs to plug into this one. So I'm quite open. Like I said, once we have our Imani handles on, we will be sharing them.
Great. Do follow the page, and then you'll be able to connect to them. But also, if you get in touch with us, we'll definitely be able to connect with you guys from Imani. Wow, thank you so much. It's been awesome. It's been great. I would have wanted to hear a bit of music from the guys, but apparently we missed them. But definitely, I'll make an arrangement so that I can also bring you some of the music that these guys are making. I believe they're brilliant artists who have the potential to become stars. And they say they want to go international, and we need to support them in our communities, and we give them all the moral resource and any support that we can give them. This is a brilliant initiative that I hope I will be able to see happening in more communities. And thank you so much, and congratulations for you taking the leadership role and making such an initiative, because I believe, like what you said, a lot of the youngsters that are getting into these spaces, they have not been mentored. And you got into that space with not so much of that kind of mentorship in terms of, behavior, social issues and stuff. And you've taken it upon yourself to actually impart your knowledge, your skills, and mentorship on other young people. Yes, so the guys are here and they would like to sing. So yeah, I think we've managed to. Hi, Taro. I can hear you. Please bring them in. Yes. So the guys would like to sing for us. We're going to give them a chance. But whilst we wait for them to get online, Leo, what would be your word to young people that follow you? They look up to you. You're a living legend. You've been in the game for so many years that I've mentioned. And you're still making music, and you're still running initiatives that are impacting many young people. What would be your word to people that look up to you?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I would like to, in regards of the issue of drugs, your art can never be manipulated to become art. It is something that is inborn, so you can never amplify it to a point where it's better. The most genuine type of art is the one that you give when you are sober. The most genuine type of performance is the one that you give people when you are sober, because people are paying to see the real you on stage. They are paying to hear the real you, your creativeness when you are sober. That's the most pure creativeness. So try by all means to give people the original, the real McCoy, And to my fellow practitioners, I think it is important for us to play a part in talking about these things, because I know a lot of artists are afraid to talk about drug issues because people are afraid that, well, the fans will not listen to you. Because right now, when you talk about drugs, the community that listens to our music, they tend to shun away from that. So let's not be afraid to talk about it. Let the producers, let the artists themselves, let those that are, partners of the music industry, friends of the music industry, friends of the arts, friends of science, friends of farming. Let them talk about drug abuse. Let them discourage it, and speak about it genuinely. Imagine going to a studio where the producer themselves, they understand the repercussions of drug abuse. That they'll get more if the artist is sober and the artist is able to pay the money that they want to receive. So I think it is up to us. It is our honors to speak about these things and to act actively about the issues of drug abuse.
Wow. It is upon us to speak about these issues and act actively. If we let drugs be consumed and be accessed, and young people access drugs, what we're going to do there is we're going to lose an entire generation, an entire generation of creatives, an entire generation of the audience. Without the masses, without the fans, there are no artists. And without the artists, there's no entertainment. Our life, I think, will be miserable. Thanks a lot, Leo. So the guys are going to give us some freestyle and then say something before I give it over to Rufaro. So yeah, Tariro, if you can hear me, please bring them through. Hi, Tariro, if you can hear me. Hi, Tariro. Hi, Tariro, if you can hear me, please go ahead. Stay tuned. So, hi, Tariro, can you hear me? Hi, Tariro. Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead if you can hear us. So yeah, stay tuned. We're going to have the guys from Shtungiza that are part of a rehabilitation program that involves a number of creatives are going to give us a small performance, and then we close off the program. But in the meantime, I'm going to play a song that talks about drugs from K-Slick, which talks about Mutoriro, and the song goes like so, whilst we wait for, just stay tuned.
Time on this with finest.
Jack's on the track.
Anzikanosati wamborowa kukawa kasara maitsi matatu unenge watoparara.
Hi, Tariro, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please go ahead. Apparently, we have lost her.
Unze kunoedza uchizvigaira chero malike pafacebook unenge uchizviisira unotorota uri mukuru wekambani uine vashandi nemaforomani unotoona uri jinimbi.
So yeah, we've managed to reconnect to the guys in Shtungiza. Hi, Tariro, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please go ahead. Tariro. Yeah, so apparently I think we're having a bit of network challenges there. Rufaro, your closing words. I know this is not the last conversation we're going to have. I would love to have the guys on the show.
We will try again.
Yes, to experience a bit of what they're doing. What would be your last words to Zimbabwe?
I just wanted to first of all thank everyone who has been supporting. A lot of people have been coming in with all sorts of support. Just please continue to support with ideas, with resources, with not just cash, but a sewing machine, a barbershop machine, all sorts of tools that we can use. I'm just praying that people who are outside the country, there are people who live in the diaspora, for instance, that can access small, cheap tools. Please just send them to us. If you've got a garage full of stuff that you don't use, please just send it to us. We've got children who are into carpentry who want to do that. We've got So we need a lot of support. If you know someone who owns a driving school, for instance, and they want to take 2 kids because a lot of them want to get driver's licenses, right? We want to give them a chance because, as you have seen in the ZBC video, sometimes the parents are also on to drugs, so no one's going to help them. So we're going to have to step in, you know. We're going to have to step in. So we're calling from all kinds of support, and also just to part by saying that like what the man in the video said, we're going to need stronger legislation for this, right? So one of the conversations we're going to be having after we help the kids to set off, because we're not going to be, like I said, our action is in chewable kind of sizes, so we're not going to start to, you know, just go and do everything at once. But I think we will need help also in terms of legislation, because I think the legislation is just inadequate when it comes to enforcing of drug selling, and also most importantly how we deal with kids when they are into drugs. Like what the man says, instead of criminalizing them and criminalizing the person who's taking drugs, let's criminalize the person who's selling, and let's help the person who is on to drugs. So there is a whole shift of our intervention that we will need to try. But just to say, Zimbabwe, no, let's not give up on our kids. They're ours. This is the generation we're losing. So let's not give up on them. Let's try our best. You know, 20 kids at a time, 10 kids at a time will make a huge difference.
Wow. Let's not give up on our kids. These are our kids. This is our generation. Thank you so much. Rufaro is going to give a try. Hi, Rufaro. Can you say something? Tariro, sorry. Tariro.
Yes. Thank you so much, Plot. I know it's been a really difficult session with us, but so the guys are just going to do a freestyle on the song that they sung specifically to warn other youths about drugs and drug abuse. So I'm just gonna give it up to them now so that they can freestyle. There's no beat, there's nothing. It's just them and their raw voices. I hope everyone is gonna enjoy. We'll talk again next time when we're a bit more organized. But yes, I'll give it up to them.
All right. Never you over my people. We're not giving up, my people. You better live it up.
Too bad we lost them again. Miranda Mugezi, thank you so much. Just send us a message and definitely we'll be able to get back through to you. And Tawanda Choto is asking how best can we help. Is there an email address that people can get in touch?
No, well, at the moment, I think people just, if you get in touch with me, I'll direct you to where you can go to. Like I said, we are setting up as we are doing the work. So all our key functions right now, they're individuals who have volunteered to handle each key function. So anyone, if Tawanda says, how can we help? Tawanda gets in touch with me and I will let you know who's the best person to talk to according to how you can help, right? So like, for instance, if you can help with a farm, if you've got a farm, for instance, we can always say, okay, this is the person working with the kids who's doing farming, and you can just work with them.
Oh, great. Wow, thank you so much. Thanks a lot to everybody who's been watching. It's been great. Let's keep spreading the word. Let's take care of our loved ones. Let's support them. Let's not condemn the society. And given Gidimela says, thank you so much, guys. Evison Love, who is also appreciating, is watching from Hillbrow, Johannesburg, South Africa. Until next time, thank you so much to Imani for the wonderful program, and thank you, Rufaro. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Joe, who was not with us, and fortunately, Yusuf couldn't join. Taro says we can get in touch on this number, so I'm going to give this number in the comment section so that people can actually send through a message. So, Imani, I'm just going to put the number, and then you can get in touch with the number. You can see it on Facebook, on our YouTube channel, and on LinkedIn as well, as we are streaming live on all those platforms. So until next time, thank you so much. I really appreciate Leo. Thank you, Rufaro. Thank you so much. And they're still taking more youths. That's what Rufaro Tyrell says. Still taking more youths. So definitely, if you want some help, please get in touch with them. That's the number there, and you'll be able to get some help. So until next time, earGROUND, your voices amplified. My name is Plot Mhako, and I'm out.